Let's talk about ways we can eat to support our immune system. Our food is so vital to the way our body functions, whether that's our heart, our vision, our blood sugar, our energy levels, our hormone health. What we choose to put in our body truly is the fuel that we give our body to work with. Think about your car. You wouldn't just throw water in your gas tank and expect your car to work correctly. Or if you have a diesel gas vehicle, you wouldn't throw regular gas in there and expect it to be able to function. Our bodies are the same. We have to give them the proper nutrients they need to function in the way that we want them to. We don't want to feel run down and exhausted and be sick all the time. This really does come down to daily lifestyle choices that we make in our kitchen, or if we're on the run, choosing to get the best thing we can when our options may be slightly limited. So let's talk about some things to avoid. First and foremost, sugar. If you guys didn't already know that was coming, I'm guessing you haven't listened to a whole lot of my content, because this is one thing I will never stop talking about. Sugar is so bad for your body on every single level, but especially on your immune system. If you're looking to stay healthy, pull it from your diet now, yesterday. It's that important. 2 teaspoons of sugar will hamper your immune system for 5 hours. And like I've said before, when you look at what sugar is really in, all of the names it flies under, and how much of it is put into different foods, you see why all of the sudden we begin to struggle, and we may not even realize that that's what we're doing. So beware for words like dextrose, fructose corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, and all other avenues that sugar can hide under. Go do a Google search for alternate names for sugar. You will be shocked at what you come up with. And I do suggest that you do that on a search engine like DuckDuckGo. Definitely not Google, as they're going to try to hide a lot of those kind of results from you. Also, alcohol. I personally do not drink anything that's alcoholic or wine, and I really do believe my immune system benefits for that. It's also just a personal conviction. But if you do consume those kind of things, definitely limit them. But overall, my encouragement would be to just kick the habit in general, because you're going to be so much better off for it. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that we could talk about. Fast food would be another. There's nothing nutritionally beneficial in fast food as an industry, and it's definitely not doing your immune system any benefits. So I know that's hard. Some of us, I know, love our French fries and our cheeseburgers and our chicken nuggets and all those things. I do too. Every once in a while I will have them, but when it's a constant habit, your body is building up all sorts of things that it can't properly digest, and it doesn't know what to do with, and is just going to tear you down rather than build you up. Once in a while as a treat may be okay, but as a constant lifestyle choice, you're not giving your body any time to recover and keep itself strong. So let's move on from that, because no one wants to dwell on the negative. What are some good things that we can incorporate into our diet? And I'm going to keep them as practical as possible. I don't want you to feel like you have to go start shopping at like a food store that you've never heard of before, or it doesn't have to be strange. That's what I'm trying to say. It can be something that's easily incorporated into what you do. It may mean a change in maybe your meal plan or your taste buds. That could be the case for you, but it doesn't mean that you have to go halfway around the world to go find some strange ingredient, okay? Because if that's what it meant, I wouldn't be eating healthy, because I don't like to be in the kitchen. I don't like to spend a lot of time putting our food together, but I'm also seeing that I can incorporate these things with just a little bit of extra effort and self-discipline. So here we go. Let's talk about, which one should we do first? How about curcumin? This is the main constituent in turmeric, and I think turmeric has become, at least on my radar, a big thing lately. Probably in the last couple of years, it's been bigger among I shouldn't even say mainstream. It's just been something you've heard about more, maybe, if you're in any bit of a healthy type circle, or even maybe some in some mainstream things. turmeric and curcumin, a lot of times you're going to hear them simultaneously because curcumin is in turmeric. But the constituent curcumin is, how do I put this in a compliant manner? It does a lot for you, including support your immune system, and it supports other functions. It maintains proper inflammatory levels. It maintains the health of your cells. So that's going to help keep you well as maintaining and promoting the proper defense in your body. I hope you guys are tracking with what I'm trying to say here. So that is a fantastic one that you can implement into dishes that you're cooking. So I can't give you specific examples because, like I said, cooking is not particularly my strong suit. So don't ask me to shoot recipes off without thinking about it. That might include that. But there's also supplementation. Young Living has a wonderful turmeric supplement that we offer. It's a powder. It tastes good, actually. I am not a fan of powders, and quite honestly, I don't particularly care for this just because of the powder context. I just have this mental block with putting a powder in my drink and enjoying it. But it does taste good. It's a mango flavor, so it's not anything strange or weird. It's actually a little bit kind of sweet. So that part's palatable and easy. I just personally have to get over the fact that it's a powder, but that is totally a me thing. So that's an option that you can do. Is seriously as easy as mixing it into your drink and drinking it. I personally will put it in a vegetarian capsule to help me get it down because I figure it's better to take it than to not take it at all. So that's something that you can add in. Also, oregano. This is used in other countries in place of antibiotics, or as an antibiotic, I guess I should say. So you can get that in your diet. I mean, we have the spice readily available. It's also I guess the plant would be simultaneous as the spice. But, if you grow it in your own backyard or you get it organic from the store so you don't have pesticides and things messing it up as it's being grown, there's a lot of benefit you can get from that is very supportive to the immune system and promotes keeping your body well. Also, ginger, this is very similar in its benefits there. Raw honey, this one would be easy to incorporate in because it's not weird. It doesn't taste funky. I mean, if you don't like honey, then I guess maybe not. But for most of us, honey would be simple because we enjoy something sweet. You want raw. I recommend local because then you're getting the benefits of the different things in the pollen. I don't even know what the scientific term for that would be, but raw honey can help with allergy issues and that sort of thing because you're getting exposed some to all the different, what's the word? Allergens. That's not the word I was looking for. Oh, you guys. I should have rolled on some Clarity oil before I hit record on this. Basically, you're getting exposed to everything that's outside in your general area, if that makes sense at all. I can't come up with the word. But let's try that again. The raw local honey can help with that. So benefit, kind of a side benefit there, as well as supporting the immune system. It's very soothing to the throat as well. So we personally will use honey when we deal with irritation in our throat. So I will mix some of our Young Living Vitality essential oils into the honey, and we'll take that by this spoonful as we feel we need it, instead of reaching for things from a corner store that would contain dyes and sugar and other toxic things in them. Let's see. What else? You guys, I had a whole list and I was trying not to read it from a list, and now I feel like it's all fleeting from my brain. A couple of things that you can also look up and learn more about, because I'm not going to go into them deep here because I would have a lot of trouble staying compliant, and just because I think it's good for you to go do some of this research on your own so you have a good understanding and so that you kind of have to work for the information. I feel like when I have to go look something up and someone just doesn't tell it to me, then I remember it better because I actually had to go put in the time to learn that concept or find that fact. So flavonoids, if you guys are not familiar with those, I did a very concise post about them on my Instagram page. It should also show up on my Facebook. So if you want to go find that, that was probably like a month or so ago from the date that this podcast is being released. It was one of my kind of transformation tips posts that I usually drop on Mondays. But these are amazing. How do I put this without being non-compliant? They support all sorts of natural and proper functions and responses in the body, proper inflammation levels, proper cell health, proper environment in the body to keep you above the wellness line. Are you guys, again, tracking where I'm trying to go here? But just go look it up. I love pubmed.gov for looking up peer-reviewed medical studies. They are there. They are legit. It is the science, okay? Like real science. So that's one place I love to go to look up my stuff. If you've seen some of my reels lately on Instagram, you've seen me talk about that even just earlier this week. Also, antioxidants. Antioxidants are amazing for protecting cell health. So I just recently listened to a presentation by scientist Doug Corrigan and it blew my mind. Honestly, I kind of glazed over about halfway through. It was an hour long. Science is not my subject, and my brain was just so blown by what he shared in the first 25 minutes that I need to go back and listen to the rest of it. I did listen to the whole thing, but I feel like I missed a lot in the second half because there was just so much good stuff. But one thing that I did pick up from what he was sharing was I've always heard people say that antioxidants help protect our cell health, and it does. It protects them from free radicals and other things that attack our cells. And I've always heard that free radicals affect your cell like rust would affect a car. And this is also true, but Doug took it a step further and explained it a little bit more for us. What really happens is the free radical goes in there and it basically steals part of the cell. And I don't remember the exact word he used for this, but I can put the link to his presentation in the show notes. I will do that. And I will try to remember to put it in the comments after I share this video on social media. But he was explaining that the free radical goes in and basically steals part of the cell. And then that cell is missing that particular piece that it needs to work correctly, which can then copy over into issues with the DNA and on and on. And then we have issues in our health. So antioxidants, let me get this right. My husband accidentally messed up one time and called them antioxygens, and we kid about that. So I have to catch myself, and I just about said that. Antioxidants go in and help give that cell what it's missing. Or they can go give that free radical what it wants before it ever comes and mistreats that cell. Basically, Doug explained it like it bullies the cell. It takes what it needs, and the poor little cell is over there and basically can't defend itself against the bully. So antioxidants, you guys, this is what I get for kidding my husband about slipping up one time. Antioxidants can come in there and sort of be like the superhero to protect that little cell from the big bad bully. If that makes sense at all. I hope it does. The way he explained it, it made sense to me. And I'm pretty sure if I can understand something that is a science concept with my very little understanding of science, that hopefully it translates over for everybody else. So also look into antioxidants on PubMed too. Those are so cool what they do and the things that they have scientifically studied out and seen results in humans. It's pretty cool, but I will again digress on that one because I'll either say something that's not accurate or get myself in trouble with 3-letter agencies who we will not name, who don't want you to know these kind of things. So those are some great things you can add in. Let's talk like foods that would contain some of these things. Anything citrus is going to be amazing for your immune system. Lemons, oranges, those are high in some really good things too. That would be a whole nother podcast. Let's see. I really should have written a list, and I really didn't want to, and I apologize for all the hesitations. Bone broth, I have heard fantastic things about bone broth. A lot of girls in my circle make their own. I don't think that's ever going to be my journey, but I'm not going to say that it would never be, because I am now growing my own plants that are actually growing and not dying like they have the last 2 years that I've tried it. So I'm starting my own garden. So I'm not going to say that bone broth would never be my journey, because I didn't think gardening would ever be my journey. I didn't think health would ever be my journey. Okay. So side note here, don't write yourself off as like not that person or I can't do that thing. Because if I can do it, you can do it. I mean, seriously. Off the side note, back to the topic at hand. So bone broth, I know some of the girls that I follow in my circles love the brand Fond. I believe that's the brand name. If it's not, I will make sure to correct that in the show notes. But I'm pretty sure that's it. They love their bone broth. I have yet to try it. It's on my list of things that I really want to incorporate, but it contains a lot of super amazing building blocks for your immune system and for health in general. Let's see. Elderberries. I have recently tried making elderberry syrup. I didn't do so great at it. Again, because of my lack of confidence in the kitchen, but I came out with a nice elderberry juice, which had the same benefits. So I was okay with that. I just didn't get the texture quite right. But that's personally, I like the flavor. I know some people may not, but they are packed full of good things. I want to say antioxidants, but I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure they contain those. But just go look those up again on PubMed, because there's studies about elderberries too. Wolfberry or the goji berry, it's like the same thing, goes by both names. My family loves Young Living's Ningxia Red Juice that contains the wolfberry, as well as lemon oil, orange oil. So you got the citrus in there too, with a couple other things. That is packed full of antioxidants and other constituents that your body needs. So we take an ounce of that every day. If we start to feel a little off and feel like we need some extra boost and support, then we will take 2 ounces during a day. But we take that daily. Like, we don't go without it. It supports every system of the body, but I think my favorite thing about it is what it does for the immune system. Also, energy helps with that too. And who doesn't need that? But that's again, entirely different topic, which I probably will do a podcast about that coming up here soon. So I think we've covered it. Also, don't forget your vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B. You need all those things for the body to function correctly, but vitamin D does play a role in immunity. Some of the B's do as well. And obviously C is one that can come in there and support the immune system when we're talking about antioxidants and that kind of thing. Another thing that Doug mentioned in his presentation that I thought was fascinating is if you're familiar with the ORAC scale, it's how they measure antioxidant, basically the power or how much antioxidant is in a particular plant or essential oil or whatever is housing that antioxidant. So he was explaining that depending on how they tested it and for what exact ORAC constituent they wanted, some results will be different depending on what test you look at. So the point he was making was no matter where something may fall on that scale, it's good to get it into your routine in one way or another, because each one benefits you just a little differently. So cloves were something that were high. Clove essential oil was high on the ORAC scale. So he's like, yeah, that's great, but don't leave out the thing he showed specifically was talking about essential oils. He's like, don't leave out some of these other ones that may be, quote, lower on the scale, because it doesn't mean they're not beneficial. It just means that in that particular test, they didn't rank as high. So wolfberry is the highest antioxidant-rich berry on the planet, which is one reason why we drink our Nature Red. But also pomegranates are very high, and elderberries, I believe, are on there as well, because like I said, I do believe they have the antioxidants. If I'm wrong, forgive me. I'm not a scientist. I think I've made that clear. I'm not a doctor either. I'm a mom and a wife and a woman who wants to know all I can know about my health, and put this into practice in my own life and share it with anyone who wants to know. So that's my certification. That's all I got. I don't have letters behind my name. I have not gone to school for anything but a secretarial degree. So here I am. But anyway, I think I'll cut off there. I don't want to ramble. We've already hit like 21 minutes, so I don't want to make this super long or bore you with it. But I hope you will go look some of these things up and learn a little bit more. A tool that I love that I recently got as a gift was the book Optimize Your Immune System by Marie Ruggles. This is really, really good. She's a nurse and she wrote this, and it was a fascinating read. It's not thick at all. And she writes it in a way that makes it very simple and fascinating to understand. So flavonoids, I learned about those in her books, or in her book, I should say. But I highly recommend that if you go look it up. She has her own website. I believe she sells the book there. You may be able to find it on Amazon, and Life Science Publishing, or Life and Science, I think is their name now, also put it out. So I'll do my best to add that link to the show notes as well, because I highly recommend that book. It was so good, and I refer back to it frequently to remind myself of things that I read just a few months ago. But anyway, I will talk to you guys again soon. I'm really excited about some of the topics that I've chosen, because I've worked ahead a little bit to make sure that I stay on track with these. But if you're enjoying these, would you drop a comment and let me know that you listened? Maybe let me know some of the things you'd like to know about, because that would be helpful for me, just to kind of let me know that people are there, and also so I could talk about some things that might be specifically beneficial to you. Have a great week, and we'll talk soon.